everyone. In today's video, we're going over how to do the herringbone double crochet stitch in crochet using US terms. In this tutorial, I was using this Pound of Love skein from Lion Brand Yarns in the color Olive, as well as a 4.5mm crochet hook and scissors to cut off my work. Though this stitch would work well with whatever size yarn and corresponding hook that you may have. And I may even recommend an even bulkier yarn for this stitch. We're going to go ahead and get started with a slip knot, which you can do however is easiest for you. And then once we have our slip knot, we're actually going to chain however long that we want to be. So for your finished project, you just want to continue chaining until you get to what is going to be the desired length. And to chain, of course, we're going to yarn over and pull through the loop that's already on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop that's already on our hook. So if you can go ahead and meet me once you are at your desired length. All right, that is 22 chains for me at the moment. And what we're going to do as soon as we reach the desired length for our finished project, we're just going to add one additional chain. And that is our chain completed. So to get started on the first row, what we're going to do is we're going to find the third chain from the hook. So not counting this here, which is the loop that is on our hook, we're going to be skipping this chain, which is the first chain from the hook, this chain, which is the second chain from the hook, and we're going to be working into the third chain from the hook. So to get started on our herringbone double crochet stitch, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that third chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. Right now we have 3 loops on our hook, and we're actually going to take this first loop here and pull it through the second loop. So right now we have 2 loops left on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through only the first loop that's on our hook. So we still have 2 loops left on our hook, and now we're going to yarn over and pull through both of those loops. So now for the second stitch, we're just going to do that same thing again. We're going to yarn over, insert into the next chain from where we just worked into, and pull up a loop. We have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to take this first loop here, and we're going to pull through the second loop on our hook. Now we have 2 loops left. We're going to yarn over and pull through only that first loop, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through both loops that are remaining on our hook. So into the next chain, we're going to do that again. Yarn over, insert into the chain, and pull up a loop through the chain. We're going to take this first loop here and pull through the second loop that's on our hook. We have 2 loops on our hook remaining. We're going to yarn over, pull through only the first loop. And again, we have 2 loops remaining after that. And then we're going to yarn over, pull through both loops that are left on our hook. So we're just going to put that stitch until we get near the end of the chain. So if you want to do it one more time together for this row, again, we're going to yarn over, insert into the next chain, and pull up a loop. We're going to take this first loop and pull through the second loop that's on our hook. So now we have 2 loops remaining. We're going to yarn over and pull through the first loop, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through both loops that are on our hook. So if you want to keep doing that, and we can go ahead and meet near the end of the row to go over how we're going to turn our work. All right, so I have my last chain here for this first row to work into. So again, what we're going to do, I'm going to yarn over, insert into that last chain, and pull up a loop. I'm going to take that first loop and pull it through the second loop that's on my hook. So now I have 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through the first loop, then I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2. And that is the first row completed. You may see that your first row is a little bit tangled up here, but as we continue working, it will unravel. So now in order to turn our work, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2 and we'd be ready to get started on row 2. So for row 2, what this chain 2 that we just chained in order to turn is going to do is it's going to act as if it is our first stitch. So to get started on the second row here, what we're going to do is we're going to skip the stitch that is directly beneath us, and we're going to work into this stitch here. So we're going to be doing the same thing that we did for the first row, but we're going to be working into the stitches beneath us instead of into the chain. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the stitch, and you can always tell that it's a stitch because you can see the 2 lines there at the top. We're going to go ahead and yarn over, pull a loop through that stitch. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to go ahead and take this first loop and pull through the second loop that's on our hook. So now we have 2 loops remaining on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through the first loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2. And again, we'll do that herringbone double crochet stitch together. We're going to yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and pull up a loop through the stitch. We're going to go ahead and take that first loop and pull through the second loop that's on our hook. We're going to go ahead and yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put these into the tops of each of these stitches that are beneath us. So if you want to do one more together with me, again, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, and pull up a loop. We're going to go ahead and take that first loop and pull through the second loop. Now we have 2 loops remaining on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through just the first loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So if you want to go ahead and meet me near the end of the row, and I'll go ahead and show you how we're going to finish this row and turn our work again. All right, so I'm near the end of my row here. I just have a couple more stitches to work in. So you can see this one right here is the first stitch that we put into the previous row. So you can see if I insert my hook in there, you can see the 2 lines at the top indicating to us that that is a stitch. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to put that herringbone double crochet stitch in there. So again, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, pull that first loop through the second loop that's on my hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And then what I have left here is actually the 2 chains that we skipped in order to start the first row. So what we're going to do is we are going to put a stitch into this space right here between the chain 2 and between that stitch there. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that space, and pull up a loop, pull that first loop through the second loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. Then I'm going to go ahead and chain 2, and I'd be ready to start my next row. So you can see here the beginning of the pattern. You can see all of these stitches right here in this first row are leaning quite a bit towards this way. So as we continue going, you'll be able to see that pattern more and more. But this is a 1-row repeat. So if you need to, you can go ahead and you can use the timestamps down below to go over if you need to look back at the stitch or anything like that. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to work up a few more rows so that we can see the texture of the stitch even better. But just as a reminder, what we're going to be doing is we're always going to be skipping this first stitch that's directly beneath us and working into the second one. And each stitch is going to be a yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, pull the first loop through the second loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. So if you want to go ahead and meet me to see what the stitch looks like with a few more rows worked up, but if not, you can go ahead and use the timestamps down below. I've gone ahead and I've worked up quite a few more rows of the herringbone double crochet stitch. And you can see, especially now that a few more rows are worked up, you can see how these stitches are going this way. And also if you turn your work over, you can see the same on the other side. So this is a stitch where it's going to look the same on both sides. And you can also see, if you look at the sides here, I have straight edges. So that is just something to be on the lookout for, especially because you are starting by skipping a stitch and you are ending in that chain 2 space. So if you have sides that are not showing up as straight here, it's just a sign that maybe there is a mistake that's happening at either the beginning or the end of your row. So you may want to unravel and redo that. I'm also about to end my project here, so I just wanted to look closer now that I am at another row into the chain 2 space that I'm working into. So I have a stitch in this stitch right here, and then right here you see this space, and these are the chain 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting my work right in here. So I'm not going to be working into the chain, but I'm going to be working into that space there. So I'm going to put that herringbone double crochet stitch into this space here, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, pull the first loop through the second loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And then in order to end my work, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chain 1 and grab my scissors and cut off, pull my hook up and pull tight. And you can go ahead and knot if you want to make sure that it is more secure, though that is personal preference. But all I'd have left to do is I need to work this end where I just cut off back into my project, as well as this over here, which is the excess from my slip knot to start my project. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, or if there are any other stitches or tutorials that you'd like to see in a future video. Thank you.